read the Quran. You should read the Quran. You should read the Quran.
All praise and thanks are to God. We praise Him and we seek His aid and His guidance and His assistance. We seek refuge with God from the evilness that dwells from within our souls, from the consequences of our evil deeds. Whosoever God guides, no one can mislead this person, and whomsoever God allows to be led astray, you cannot find for this person to guide his friend. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and He has no partners, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his last prophet and messenger. O people, worship and submit to God, and worship and submit to Him alone, and die not but except in the state of total submission to Him, seeking His aid, His guidance and assistance, saying is that He is the one who created you. Okay, and we refer to this person who does this a Muslim. The word Muslim means one who submits to the commandments of God. Okay. And so, my name is Akhee Salam, and this is the Dawah Time show. I'm reading the Quran. I'm into the Quran. For those out there who've never read the Quran, who've never opened the book, well, I'll open it for you and I'm reading it for you. We are in belief that this is the last book. We believe that this is the last book revealed for all mankind to follow, to get their guidance from, to get questions of all things in life, from the beginning of creation to what will be the end of creation. It's all in this book, the Quran. We, the Muslims, stand on this book, and we believe in this book wholeheartedly, and we look towards this book, into this book, for guidance and to know things which we have no ability to know of, other than finding it in this book. I mean, we can guess and we can think that, come up with our own assumptions as to how the world should work and how the world was created and how it has evolved, and man's creation and how man has evolved. But we could think about this and come up with our own assumptions and beliefs. But we, the Muslims, we submit to the will of God, and we look towards this book, this revealed guidance. Okay, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about for me. That's what this show is all about. Bringing the guidance, bringing the Dawah. The word Dawah means giving the knowledge of creation and giving the knowledge of the creation, of the Creator and the creation, and the truth of the Creator and the creation, and what He expects from us, why we are here. That's what the Dawah is about. The most important information. Everything else is just enjoyment after that. When we go seek our, try to get what we want, quest. And people make life out of, we have made life out of a quest of getting what we want. Every human being on this earth, everybody, mostly, those who are not informed and those who are not following this book, the revealed guidance. Life is a big thing of getting what you want. That's the core of life to people who don't follow this book. What do I want today? What do I want to do today? They look out, they veer out and see something beautiful and attractive and alluring, and they want it, and we want it. Whether it's the opposite sex, a beautiful woman, or for a woman, a beautiful man, A woman wants a baby, a man wants a baby. These are wants. We want to make money. Okay, we want to have a good job in order to make this money. We want to have the best food. We want a car. We want a house. So that's what it all, boils down to. The essence of a man. That's what it has been limited to. Without guidance. The theme of a man is what he wants. So if you think your life is just based on this, on wants, on wanting, wanting to possess things and have things, looking out, looking, we want the best thing that looks the best. We smell things, we want things that smell the best. We want things that feel the best. We want to listen to things that sound the best. Okay? And we want things that taste the best. From the 5 senses of the human being. So, this is what it has boiled down to. But this book right here informs the man, of his purpose, of his purpose and the purpose of creation and his relationship to his creator and to this planet we're on, the earth, okay? And the basic premise for man's creation is worship. Worship. So, if we're not worship, so the wanting has turned into the worship of what we want, the things we want to possess. That's what we have limited it to. But, we got to worship the Creator. So that's what our purpose is. Worship the Creator. And I'm, going on and on with this because I want to make sure I get this point across. It's very vital, very important before I move on with the recitation, the reading of the Quran. Okay, so we want to go into the book. I'm bringing it to you now. This is the Quran, this is the book, this is the revelation, this is the guidance, okay? And I want to start by seeking refuge with God from the evil whispers of the shaitan. I want to say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. And I want to open up in the name of Allah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay? So we're going to go on into the book, the Quran, the revealed message. Okay, and see what we're going to get today. What is the message and what is the information that God has given us today in this section we're going to read. We're in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 60. And it's sectioned off. This is section 7, Ayah 60 of Surah Al-Baqarah. And it says, and recall the time when Moses prayed for water for his people, and we said to him, go with your people and smite that particular rock with your staff. So when he did so, there gushed forth it 12 springs, so that every tribe came to know of its drinking place. And we said, God, revealing this to Moses, but this is the Quran and it's been revealed to Prophet Muhammad. This is the Quran being revealed to Prophet Muhammad. And if you watch this, if you listen to the show or watch the show last week, you will know that we're talking about the children of Israel. God is still addressing the children of Israel, the original Jews, who are on the earth at this time, who are still on the earth, who was on the earth at this time in the proximity of Prophet Muhammad. This is being told to them, being revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to relay these scriptures to the children of Israel, okay? So, and it says, eat and drink of sustenance provided by Allah and commit not transgressions in the land like peace breakers. Okay, so right here it's another confirmation of that we believe in Moses as a prophet. The Quran is confirming, the Torah is confirming Moses' prophethood. Peace be upon him. And it's saying, and God is blessing Moses to pray for water for your people. And once again, God is providing the children of Israel. He's punished them. He's punished them in the earlier ayats in this Quran for their transgressing. But now this is an alleviated time. So he's blessing the children of Israel through Moses with water gushing from rocks. So we know that rocks come off the spring water, comes out of the mountains off of the rocks, fresh clean water. We see this, in the mountain region here. We're in Georgia. We see that here. We witnessed how water comes off the rocks. So, but this is interesting right here. It says 12 springs. There goes from it 12 springs, so that every tribe came to know its drinking place. So this right here is confirming the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, we know that there's 12 tribes of Israel. The Bible, what we know as the Injil, but the original book, the Injil, that's how it's referred in the Quran. The Bible or the Injil speaks about the 12 tribes, and the Torah speaks about the 12 tribes. We all know to this day of the 12 tribes of Israel, of the Jews. But I'm not going to go off into that, but the Quran is confirming that, so note that. And this has been revealed to Prophet Muhammad to tell the children of Israel. Believe in this book right here. Allah, God is reminding them, the children of Israel who's on the earth during the time of Prophet Muhammad, the 12 tribes, every tribe had its drinking place. This is the blessing and the mercy from God to the children of Israel. He's still working with the children of Israel, and I find that to be very profound. Like I said in the last show, that Allah is addressing the children of Israel through Prophet Muhammad because they have the covenant. Okay, so we're going to read on, and it says, and when you said, Moses, so the you here is the Jews, the children of Israel. They are addressing Moses. And when you said, Moses, we are weary of one kind of food, so we will not at all remain content with one and the same food. So pray therefore to your Lord for us, that he may bring forth for us some of that which the earth produces of its vegetables, of its cucumbers, its corn, its lentils, and its onions. God said, would you take in exchange that which is inferior, that's delicious food, for that which is superior? The realization of the noble object of your life. If this is so, then go to some town and you will certainly have there all that you have demanded. And lo, it so happened, they were smitten with abasement and destitution, and they incurred the displeasure of Allah. That was because they denied the message of Allah and sought to kill his prophets unjustly. And that was because they disobeyed and had been transgressing. Wow, this is a long ayat right here, ayat 61. It's addressing a few things, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it to light. So God is saying that after Moses prayed to Allah, prayed to God for the children of Israel for water, and they were granted it, and for the food and sustenance provided by Allah. After being given this, they were ingrates. They were ungrateful. They were in turn ingrates. Okay, because they said, well, Moses, after Moses just prayed to Allah, and God made the water brook come from the rocks from them, fresh water and food. They said, Moses, they stepped to Moses and said, Moses, could you pray for some more different types of food for us? We want more, man. Can you give us some more? Pray to God that He give us some more types. The right sustenance right there, because God said, would you take that which is inferior to that which is superior? So it's showing here, God went back and addressed them to Moses, saying, tell them, would they take that which is inferior to that which is superior? Because God said He answered Moses' prayer and gave them good stuff, gave them food, gave them water, and yet and still they praying for different stuff. So it's just showing the ungratefulness of the children of Israel, and this is huge. They showing their ungratefulness once again. They're being ingrates right here. Okay, so it goes on to say. Okay, it says so. And lo, so it happened, they were smitten with abasement and destitution, and they incurred the displeasure of Allah. Okay, so it's saying, okay, Allah told them, God, okay, yeah, if y'all want the other food, go on into that town over there. It says, if this is so, then go to some town, and you will certainly have there all that you have demanded. So obviously, they went to another town where they thought that they was going to get something better than what they had. And when they got there, it happened that they were smitten and abased and destitute. They had became poor without food, and they incurred the displeasure of God. So God said, yeah, okay, go ahead to that town. If you think there's something better in that town than what I've given you, and see what you can find there. So they did that, and they became poor without food. They left what God gave them, and they went seeking more. This is the ungratefulness of the children of Israel. As we brought out in the last show, as we talked about in the earlier ayats in this surah before this, how they kept transgressing. David said, we will not believe in God unless we see Him face to face. And God punished them. So here again, the children of Israel, the chosen people with the covenant, are being ingrates. Not being happy with what they have, even though they are in charge. They have the scripture. They have the charge of spreading the revealed message of the time, which is probably the Torah or the Injil. Probably the Torah, because while this is being revealed, I don't know if Prophet Jesus had been summoned or not with his prophethood. But this has been revealed to Prophet Muhammad right here, right now, for all times, for everybody to know. And it's really profound how God, Allah, is addressing the children of Israel in this book, affirming to them. He's appealing to them, the Jews who are on the earth during the time of Prophet Muhammad. Why? Because they still have the covenant. They are still under the covenant until the day of resurrection, the end time. And the ark of that covenant, the sign of the covenant that God still has it, is the rainbow. We addressed that in the last show, okay? And what else is God making aware to us and the children of Israel at this time? he's also making aware that they denied the messages of Allah and sought to kill his prophets unjustly. And that was because they disobeyed and has been transgressed. So that's the end of that ayah. That's a whole ayah 61. And Allah is letting Prophet Muhammad know and reminding them and the whole world to the end of time that the Jews were killing prophets. We know in Islam, through my teachings about the Jews, some of what the Jews was doing. They used to kill prophets. Even though they had the covenant, they used to try to kill the prophets. Maybe this one in particular is talking about Jesus, because we all know the story of that. You know, how they thought they crucified Jesus. But this right here is in plural. It has an S with the prophets, the message. They denied the messages of Allah, messages of the you know. So it was other prophets with messages of Allah and sought to kill his prophets. So we're not just talking about Jesus. It was other prophets that they were, you know, trying to deal with. The Jews, man, the children of Israel. But they still had the covenant. And that covenant is that all the prophets were Jews. After Noah, the first prophet to be called was Abraham. And from there, from Abraham's seed, all the prophets came. On to Prophet Muhammad. From Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael, David, Solomon, all these, Jonah, Job, Jesus, the Prophet Muhammad, all of them came from Abraham, children of Israel. Okay? So that's a point that God is stressing, man. Why the children of Israel, why it's so big that he must remind them, address them, because they still have the covenant, but they keep on transgressing. That's huge. That is in his book, that God is reminding them at this time through Prophet Muhammad, you know, back some 1400 years ago when this book was revealed, in 570 AD to be exact. He's addressing the children of Israel and for the whole world for all time to know these facts, to know about the covenant, to know how the children of Israel, the Jews, the black Jews, were transgressing so much and that Allah had to keep punishing them. Allah is drawing a picture here in this Quran, okay? The story is being told. Why, how the change, how the events happened, and why he had to camouflage the last message in Arabic. The Jews were so transgressive. They were trying to kill the prophets. So it's obvious that Allah got Prophet Muhammad away from them by taking Ishmael out to the desert and him learning Arabic and this Quran being revealed to him away from the Jews. But Allah is revealing this message to Prophet Muhammad to remind the Jews. Why? Because this is a big thing. It's the covenant. They still have the covenant until the end of time. So I just want you to realize that and realize what's going on. It's all in this book right here, man. Religion is one. The prophethood came through the children of Israel, the black Jews. From Abraham to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, okay? And Allah, God has not given up on the children of Jews. He will never give up on the children of Jews. The children of Israel, the black Jews, because of that rainbow, that reminder of the covenant. So it's very important. This stuff is very important. That's why it's being addressed. I just want you to understand that, okay? So we're going to move on to ayat 62 in Surah Al-Baqarah. A little deep here, so I want you to pay very close attention with this that's going to be revealed to us right here. Okay, so it says, surely those who profess to believe in Islam, it got it in parentheses. Islam is the Arabic word that means submitting to the will of God in action. The word Islam. We know today people look at Islam, they separated the religions. So you have, the Jewish religion, they call it, Christianity and Islam. But Islam just basically means submitting to the will of God. And Muslim is a word that's derived from Islam. Islam is the root word. Muslim is the person who does this. So it's saying those who believe in Islam, all people who believe in submitting to the will of God, okay? And those who, listen, and those who follow the Jewish faith. Let me start back over, okay? Surely those who profess to believe in Islam and those who follow the Jewish faith, the Christians and the Sabians, whosoever of these truly believes in God and the last day and acts righteously shall have their reward with their Lord, and shall have nothing to fear, nor shall they grieve. So this right here is confirming, man. Confirming those who follow this Quran is saying this. Since mankind has, Allah is taking a stance here, since mankind has separated these and made it into 3 different religions, he's saying, okay, surely those who profess to believe in submitting to Allah, Islam, the word Islam, who believe, who submitting, who follow the Jewish, the Christians, faith, and the Sabians. Okay, the Sabians is, I don't know much about the Sabians. I'm not going to go into it. Maybe I could expound on it on a later show each day. But the Sabians, I got, I got to look that up. It's some Sabians, so it's another accepted belief. I've read it before in the Quran, but to tell you the truth, I never researched who the Sabians are. Yeah, I have. They are the people, they have worship one God. I don't know what time it is, what time of in history they were, the Sabians, and if they are still on the earth today. That's some research I gotta do. I want to bring that to you, the Sabians, because God is revealing in this book, so I want to bring it to you guys. Find out who these Sabians are, okay? But it's affirming, yo, man, the Christians, the Jews, the Jewish religion, that whosoever believes in God, okay, and the last day, the day of resurrection, the judgment day of your deeds, and who acts righteously, God is saying they will have their reward with their Lord. Because why? These 3 groups, Jewish, Christianity, Islam, and the Sabians, the 4th one, they all do believe in God, and they all do believe in the last day. They have this religious concept of God, of doing good, these acts of righteousness. God is saying, okay, even though y'all broke it up, practice what you're practicing, but practice it the way it was taught, because all of them still teach righteousness and doing good deeds, and it teaches about paradise and hell and the judgment day, okay? So stay with what you're doing, but just do it the way it's taught. Be righteous. Be righteous. Be good, Jews. Be good with the Christians. Have a relationship with them, Don't be biased. Don't be racist against the Christians. Don't be prejudiced against them. That's what they believe in. Okay, you don't accept it. But your religion, this Jewish religion, should teach you to be a good person. It should teach you to love other people, okay? Christians. Love the Christians accept the Jews. They do, because Jesus, during the time of, when Jesus was on the scene, he was telling them, yo, I'm with y'all, I believe in what you have. I just came to set you guys right. And they didn't like that. Those Jews at the time who was running the show, They didn't like that. So they tried to get at Jesus. But Jesus' followers knew that they had a good book and that they, were religious people. They just didn't like Jesus coming to tell them what to do, to straighten out what they were doing. So they tried to take him out the scene. But I say that to say they believe in that, okay? They accept that. They know about that because it's in the Bible. And so Christians, they are going to be nice to them because they're taught that. They believe in that. But now you have Islam after the Christianity believes. So Christians, accept the Muslims. Be nice to the Muslims. Act righteously towards the Muslims. Accept them. Because now the Christians don't accept the Muslims. They don't accept Prophet Muhammad. The Christians think that they have the last religion. Okay? So now you have Islam on the scene. Prophet Muhammad. Christians don't accept that. They think it's, I don't know. They think that they have the last one. So, Christians think that this is paganism, Islam. They think Islam is paganism. Islam is not paganism. It's it's the authentic religion. It confirms all the evidence. So I'm saying that to say Christians accept the Muslims. God says right here in the Quran, if you believe in me in the last day and you do deeds of righteousness and you believe in the last day, you got to do deeds of righteousness to all people. You can't be racist, you can't be biased, okay, against the Muslims. If the Muslims are practicing and praying 5 times a day and worshiping one God, and they are not accepting that, they just don't accept that Jesus was the Son of God, that's really the only differences in belief between the Muslims and the Christians, is that we don't believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Okay, we believe that Jesus was a prophet and that there is no way that God can have a son, because God is not a human. God is the creator. God is someone we cannot see, who is too great to be seen by us, who created us. But we hoping that and praying that one day we are able to see this great God. Okay? We all are. Christians, Jews, and the Muslims. We are hoping that God reveal himself to us. That would be so miraculous. We the Muslims believe in this. And that's going to be miraculous. How it's going to happen, I don't know, because in my imagination, I can only visualize things that's in creation. I have a limited imagination, so I have a limited view. I can only imagine things or compare things to this creation, to what I've seen. Anything outside of this realm is beyond my interpretation or imagination. So, but it's confirming, the Christians and the Jews and the Sabians. It's right here in the Quran. It's right here. So be good, Christians, to the Muslims. Don't disrespect them. Don't say they are pagans. Say they believe in something. Say the best thing to say stands to take Christians is that to say, oh, those Muslims, they believe in something. They believe that God revealed another book, and they believe that Prophet Muhammad is another prophet, and that he teaches the practice of one God. And they believe in not worshiping anything in the creation, not associating anything of the creation with God. So if you don't speak on something that you know nothing about, don't speak on it because you see the media, Christians, or whoever, saying the Muslims believe this and believe that they're terrorists and they just want to strap bombs, they just want to kill Americans. There's a history on that. There's reasons why things happen. Things just don't happen like that. Muslims are not terrorists. Muslims believe in the book and believe in everything. Okay? So, and media out there, you know, stop sabotaging this. Well, I can't say that because they do, the media, I gotta admit, they take facts as they see it, and they will say, well, these people, the people who they refer to as the terrorists, are radical. So at least they're not saying, I applaud them, give them credit, at least they're not saying that this book, the Quran, teaches radicalism. Respect them for that. They're not putting down the book. So Christians just say that, okay, when Muslims believe in that God revealed another book, y'all don't have to believe in it, but respect it. Respect these as not pagans, as another, because it happened to y'all with the Jews, you know, that they believe in, you know, that some other book was revealed, this Quran, and that they are religious people. If you, Christian, ever picked up this book and read it, that's what I'm doing now. I'm reading it for you, okay? I'm reading it for you. So if you ever watch this show, The Dawah Show, you will see what it's really about. I'm reading word for word, okay? And we're right here. We're into Quran. So that sums it all up right there. Allahu Akbar. That means Allah, God is the greatest. There's nothing greater than God because He's created everything. Okay, so we're going to move on. It says, and recall, O children of Israel, God keeps addressing the children of Israel. This is deep. This is profound. Follow me, man. Listen. When we took a covenant from you, and this is the deep part, listen. And it was time. God took a covenant from you, and it was time, and it was the time when you were at the foot of Sinai, the mountain with Moses. Okay? With the mountain towering above you, saying, this is the saying is the Jews were saying, hold fast to what we have given you, and bear in mind that which is in it, so that you may guard against evil. Then, even after that, you went back upon your covenant. Even after you saying, okay, we're going to hold fast to this and we're going to believe in this, something made you go back off your covenant. Then even after that, you went back off your covenant. Then it says, had it not been for the grace of God and His mercy upon you, you would have certainly been of the losers. So God is saying right here, they was trying to hold fast to the book, to the guidance, but they went back upon their covenant, but they did something again. They did something again, the children of Israel. They keep doing stuff, and God keeps saying, He punished them, I'm sure He did. But it's saying, even after that, God showed His mercy upon you. Because you would have certainly been of the loser. So God is saying He's still sticking with you. Even though you transgress, He forgave you. After He punished you, He forgave you again. Okay? Because He's saying if he didn't, then you will be of the losers. If He just cut the string and let you go, that you will surely be of the losers. And don't think you're of the losers because you've been punished. Because the covenant is still with you, even to this day. Oh Israel, oh black Jews out there today. Okay? This is a reminder. And God is reminded in such a way that He's regarding this book for all time. It'll never be changed, so that people can read it and know of it and connect the dots. Those with sound minds and know of the history, that is all here. It comes together here and is safeguarded for you to get it. Okay? So that you can get it. Alright? It's right here. Then it says, Ayat 64, Surah Baqarah. No, Ayat 65. Listen. And indeed, you have come to know the end of those of you who transgress regarding the Sabbath. Now this right here where it get deep. This gonna blow your minds out there, okay? And indeed, God says, you have come to know the end of those who transgress doing this regarding the Sabbath. Now this was a big thing, the Sabbath. They were worshiping on Friday, on Saturday was the chosen day for the Jews back then. It was a sacred day. You know what I mean? It was a day of worship, of calling to God, everybody on the earth worshiping God and being in a sanctified posture and a sanctified mindset. They transgressed on this day, and it doesn't go into detail right here, but history will show. History knows, and God is letting us know they transgressed on this Sabbath. And what happened? What was the punishment on this great transgression? Listen. Thereupon we said to them, be you apes. Be you apes. Okay? So, I'm going to stop right there. Alright? This is deep, alright? This has been I have gotten information on this, and I believe in this way, but some Muslims won't take this literally, won't take this, they'll take it figuratively or metaphorically. But some Muslims take this literally, actually, physically, okay? That God turned a group of the Jews who did this into apes. The apes you see today, the monkeys, are the sign of the Jews. And let me go and read it right here. Let me read this little bit before I go back and iterate on that again. Okay, it says, be you apes. It says, thus, Ayah 66, thus, we made this incident an example to learn a lesson from, for those present at the time, the Jews who didn't transgress against the Sabbath, but it was some Jews who transgressed on the Sabbath, that it's a sign for those that was present, okay? A lesson for those present at the time of its occurrence, and also for those who came after it, a sign as an admonition to all those who guard against evil. So that right there is why some Muslims, I accept this as literal and physical, because we still have the apes on the earth right now, the monkeys and apes, and people, you know, will have this chart. Like when I went to school, they had this chart on the wall, and it'll show how man evolved from apes. You know, you have the ape. You'll have the ape standing straight up, and then you or on his knees. I forgot how it is, but it showed him, starting off as a full-grown ape, how man evolved. So this is how people think. They put this in today's time. You know what I mean? In school, in the kids' mind, man. This was in my junior high school, man. Teaching kids this, that we evolved from apes. Okay? You'll see the picture of the chart of the ape on the ground, and then it slowly but surely, in like 6 or 7 different instances where the ape is on the ground, and then he starts to evolve. He starts to change into this man over time. Y'all seen it. So they try to show and teach people, humans in today's society, teaching kids that man evolved from apes. But that's just how alike the two are. Okay? Apes have eyes. They're hairy beasts with eyes, nose, mouth, ears. Their ears look so human-like. Their hands look so human-like. Their feet, man, look so human-like. Allah is said in the Quran right here that He changed a group of the children of Israel, Jews, into apes. For those, as a sign for those at the time, this is a punishment. We see how God keep punishing them. He said they turned on the Sabbath. He punished these people and turned them into apes. Then He says, and for all times, for those who come after y'all, people will see this as a sign. So yeah, I'm in firm belief that those apes we see today are a sign up to the day of a punishment of what the children of Israel were doing. They transgressed on the Sabbath, and God punished them and turned the group of them into apes as a sign for then and a time for now, a sign for now, for all times, man. That's how deep it is, and that's how Allah will punish you. So this stuff we're getting today, children of Israel or black Jews, you know what I mean? How people, I ain't gonna go off to that, but this is a huge punishment, man. We read before how they keep transgressing and God will punish them and forgive them, show them mercy. Punish that they forgive them, they'll do something else, transgress again, punish them again. But look, this was the ultimate transgression, man. Turned them into apes. Can you believe that out there? I believe it. So like I said, some Muslims take this as metaphorical, you know what I'm saying? Not actual. I take it literal. I'm of those who take it literal because He says it's a sign for those at the time and a sign for those who came after that until this generation of all time, man. The Jews, those are a group of Jews, the apes we see, who transgressed the Sabbath. He changed them into apes. That's why they look so human-like, those apes. This is the Quran, man. This is the truth. Can you believe that? I do. But like I said, some people take it as literal. But I want to make this argument. If it's literal, if this was, some people take it as metaphorical. Okay? If this is a metaphor or metaphorically that He changed them into apes, how could, the argument is for me, how could this metaphor be seen all the way up until today? Because God is making a statement right here. He's making a statement right here that, it will be an admonition for all those who came after it and to guard from the evil of this. So it's definitely a sign for me to this day. It's definitely a sign for me. Now, if it's metaphorical, where's the metaphor at? That I could see that these people, if God is not telling you this, if you're not reading the Quran and getting it from the Quran, how would you know this? How would you know this? How would you know the metaphor if it's metaphoric and not actual? Okay? So I take it literal, man. Those monkeys and gorillas and baboons and all that are a sign for us to this day that God turned those group of Jews, black Jews, who transgress on the Sabbath, to apes. And they're a sign for us today of their transgression. And it's such a huge thing that God is such a huge thing with the children of Israel. They have a covenant that God is addressing them in His Quran for all time. This Quran is not going to be changed. The information is right here until the day of resurrection, man. That's deep. That's deep, man. Hey, I bet you never heard nothing like that before, okay? Man, but people know of this. But like I said, they'll show you this in school, kids, how man evolved from apes. But actuality, Allah changed a group of Jews who transgressed on the Sabbath into apes. That's why they're so man-like. And if you ever, I was at the zoo, me and my wife, out in San Diego, that safari zoo out there. And we were looking at some big apes. And I knew this information. I'm looking at them like, man, y'all, you know, I'm looking at them in my mind like, look, those are Jews out there. That's a sign. I already knew this. I'm knowing this. You know what I'm saying? And one of them, he came and sat by the wall. It's a big glass. He came and sat by it, and he was looking sad, and you know what I mean? And I felt like he looked me in my eyes, man. He turned his back to me, but he was walking over, real humble. This was real humble ape. He came and, man, I felt like I seen his eyes look at me, but he wouldn't keep looking at me. But he looked away, and he was just real sad, and he just sat there. Me knowing, having this information that they were changed, I'm identifying like, man, because Allah will guide you. If you are thinking of God and you are thinking of His guidance, He will manifest things to you. He will affirm your belief, man. He will affirm your faith, but you got to be on this level. You got to be aware of this. You got to be looking towards God, dependent on God. You know what I mean? And when the stuff comes to you, you got to recognize it and believe. That's how I was that day, among a lot of days. But that really did it for me again. You know what I mean? Like, I think he probably have some awareness of this. You know what I'm saying? Because they are, even though it happened back then, they're offspring. They're offspring. That's why it's a sign all the way to the day, because they keep having offspring. You know, they have offspring. They keep having offspring as a sign for all time, so that we will see this and remember this. So, man, that's deep, man. That's deep, man. That's real. Punishing them, man. Punishing. Okay, so but that's just how God will punish, man. Punishing on people, man. He's letting us know in this Quran, man. He's, you know, for all time. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Okay, so the next one is okay, so it says, Ayah 67, so recall what Moses said to his people for their own good. Verily, Allah commands you to slaughter a cow. They said, do you make a mockery of us? The children of Jews said that. He said, Moses, I seek refuge with God from being one of the ignorant. Okay? Because Moses came to them and said, God wants y'all to, you know, slaughter a cow. He commands this. And they looking at Moses like, you crazy, man, what you talking about, man? Slaughter a cow, why? Because God told you to. So Moses, man, I seek refuge with God from y'all, man. You're ignorant, man. Won't y'all listen, man? Okay, so it goes on to say, they said, the Jews, pray for us to your Lord to make clear to us what kind of cow it is. Moses replied, he says, indeed, it is a cow neither too old nor too young, but of middle age, in between. Now do as you are commanded. Okay? Moses is, see the children of Israel right here. They like, okay, we'll pray to him. Give us some specifics. You know what I mean? Just, you know, making it hard, man. Making it hard. Being knuckleheads. The children of Israel, man, right here. They just keep, they just won't stop. So it says, they said, Again, the children of Israel, they said, pray for us to your Lord to make clear to us what color it is now. Okay? First they said, make clear to us what kind of cow it is. Now they saying, pray to us, pray to your Lord, just make clear to us what color it is. The children of Jews, they making it hard, okay? So Moses replied, he says, it is a cow, fawn of color, is intensely rich in tone, very pleasing to the beholders. Okay? Appeasing them. Once again. So they said again, this ayah 70, pray for us to your Lord to make clear to us what the cow in question is definitely like. What it is definitely like. Give us some more specifics. For all such cows are much alike to us, and we shall indeed, if God will, be guided to the right goal. So right here, they've been knuckleheads. They don't give about 4 different situations. Moses gave them the first commandment, man, go slaughter a cow. That's, you know, pretty simple. But they, like, man, come on, give us some specifics. Give us some specifics. They just been, this is what you call niggardly. They acting niggardly, man. Not accepting, man. Making it hard, man. You know what I'm saying? They use that word in this Quran, and it's referred to as, you know, as people who are not accepting, who are questioning everything. You know what I'm saying? Questioning every act, want to know all the details. You know, when it was a simple command, but they kind of like denying in their own way, making it hard. Well, that's really not believing, okay? Goes on to say, Moses is saying, ayah 71, he said, Moses is saying, God says, it is indeed a cow neither broken in to plow the land. It is neither a cow broken in to plow the land, nor to water the tillage. Perfectly sound, no spot on her. She is of one color. Then the children of Israel said, they said the children of Israel, now you have, after all, brought the exact truth with the necessary description. So they slaughtered her, though they had no mind to do it. So after all that, and just showing, this is painting a picture how niggardly and how hard to deal with the children of Israel were, man. How hard they were to deal with, man. It was started as one simple command, but yet and still they turned it into a whole debate. You know, they turned it into a whole big thing. And at the end, after giving all the signs and all of this, God's still working with them, man. God's still working with them after all this. So it's just giving an example. That's the end of this section. We're going to close off here with the, with the reading of the Quran. This is the Quran, man. We're into the Quran, and Allah is revealing a lot about the children of Israel to Prophet Muhammad, man. Just showing their ways, because these are the chosen people. These are the people who have a covenant with God. Since the onslaught of the covenant until the end of time, man, they are in a covenant with God to this day. And God saw fit, and me, and as God revealing this in the Quran, I understand why it's doing it. I understand the wisdom behind it. And I'm reading the Quran, and hopefully the people out there, my viewers, will see the wisdom in why God is addressing, why is it so important that He's addressing the children of Israel in the Quran today, at the time of Prophet Muhammad, and for all times that we get in today, and we're reading them, because God made a covenant with these people, man. They have they have the honor of having the prophethood in their lineage to bring all the scriptures. They were the chosen people on earth. The Jews. And being a Jew, and I know, you know, when I first became Muslim, and and reading the Quran and stuff like that, that God will mention the Jews. He will say, it's not saying it here, but it's going to say a little further on in the Quran that the Jews are the enemies. You know, God says somewhere in the book that the Jews are the enemies. The enemies. But he's saying it in a way, it makes sense now. Because see, he had to they were so transgressive and they had the covenant and they were doing so many things, killing prophets and all that. And God lets Prophet Muhammad know to be aware of the Jews, even though he has to take this message, remind them, but God he lets Prophet Muhammad know in this book that they are your enemies, that they will kill you, man. Because you are the prophet and they think that they are the only holders of the revealed book that should be, and they think that they still should have it. Well, they still have it. They still have the covenant, but they keep transgressing as God is revealing and as history knows. You know what I'm saying? As God revealing His Quran. But, it never hit me as why are the Jews enemies? But you'll have Muslims today, without all of the stirring, without understanding the whole totality, will just, say, Jews are the enemies, this and that, like, you know what I mean? Like, but they are only an enemy, because of the scripture, man, of the scripture. So at the time when this was revealed, God knew, as we're being told now, and we know it's been revealed that God had to get the prophethood away from the Jews, even though they are still the chosen people, even though they have the covenant, that and they're being addressed that they would have killed Prophet Muhammad because this book was being revealed. But he still had to deal with them. He had to let them know what was going on, that God was revealing them, reminding them. Because when God starts off in Quran, I always say, revealing this to Prophet Muhammad, tell them to recall this, recall that. You know what I mean? And that they still have the covenant. Recall the covenant. Trying to, appeal to them and to snap them back, man. To snap them back. To believe in this. So they're not enemies per se for life, like just automatic enemies. Because God is appealing to them in this book. God still has the covenant with the original Jews, with the black Jews. You know what I'm saying? He still has the covenant and he's appealing to them in this book. But he had to let Prophet Muhammad make them aware that they will kill you. They killed some of the prophets and all that whenever they tried to come, whenever a prophet tried to come and straighten them out on what they were doing, because they were the original holders. They still are the original holders. You know what I mean? As it's been revealed, as we know, it's been opened up. Prophet Muhammad is of them. Jew. His father, Abraham, a Jew, And then he had to save this last message. So he had to put him off in the desert, man, and rebuild this book in Arabic so they couldn't change the last message so that the whole wide world could get it, which is what's happening today. Divine wisdom. And you have it right here in the Quran. So just understand, my people. And, but the Jews are being appealed to here for all time to step up and fulfill your covenant. Now some will and some won't. Some will, unless they read this book and get the proper understanding of everything. You know what I mean? The original Jews are becoming Muslim. As a matter of fact, they are becoming Muslim. As a matter of fact, man. Look at the wisdom here. So, the Jews are for all time are not the enemies. They are enemies in a way to Prophet Muhammad because they want to kill him because he's coming with a message again to tell them. But they are the enemies of that. Okay? Because they don't want you to disrupt theirs. But Allah is appealing to them. Accept this book. You know? Which is what's going on, man. You have blacks in America becoming Muslim, man, in droves. You know, I believe I myself is of the children of Israel. I'm gonna let you know. You know, I believe I'm of that seed. Okay? Because I don't know my original tongue, my original language. My history was stripping away from me. I am black. My seed is black. And I was displaced and cut off. But I'm Muslim now. You know, I'm an original Jew. And being a Jew, they made it into like up to the day like a Jew, like it's religious. Being a Jew is like being a European. It's like being an African. It's like being an Asian. The region where you're from. The Jews were from Jerusalem. So they were a people called the Jews. The Europeans are from Europe. So they're called Europeans. The Asians are from Asia. So they're called Asians. The Africans are from Africa. They called Africans. Now note, I say this last. The Africans, any African in Africa, all of them know their tribe. They know they were never displaced. You have no tribes in Africa standing on being a Jew that I know of. I've talked to some Africans around the way here in Atlanta, but they don't know where I'm getting at. So they don't know where I'm coming from, the information that I'm trying to get. But they answer and they say, no, I know of no African over in Africa who says that they're Jews. Because in their mindset today, they look at a Jew as being a religion. Like you're a Jew, so you follow the Torah. That's your religion. You know, they say, no, I'm not a Jew. They say, no, I'm not a Jew, because they got it today that being a Jew is that's your religion, so that makes you a Jew. And I never caught it why they would say, well, you can't become a Jew. Like up to the day, the Jews in their religion, I learned this being in Islam. The puzzle is just coming together though for me, you know? I learned this. They say, a Muslim told me this, and this is how they practice. You cannot become a Jew. You cannot, if you were like the today Jews that you see, who are the Jewish religion, the rabbis and everything, if you haven't been born from them, the ones who are the rabbis who have this Jewish religion today, if you're not born from them, they saying you cannot be a Jew. You cannot come and accept their way and say, yes, I'm a Jew. So they have, you know, but I'm not going to go off into that. But I understand now why they say that. Because being a Jew means that you were born from Jerusalem. You are from this. This is, this is who you are, a Jew or an African or a European. You know what I'm saying? You follow me? So, it makes sense now. But we know that the Jews are black. Okay? So, people gonna have to, I don't know what people doing, you know what I mean? But gotta keep it real, man. You can't, I don't know who people think they fooling out here, man. You can't fool God. The covenant is with the Jews. Okay, we know that the Jews are black, so it's another story, man. It's another topic, but we gonna go ahead and we gonna close on off today. Okay? I'm reading the Quran to you. This is a Dawah show. We're reading the Quran. If you've never read the Quran, I'm reading it for you. Okay? So just keep following me. I'm Akhee Salam, and next week we're gonna continue in the Quran, inshallah, if I'm still here. Allah haven't called me back. So I'm gonna be here next week, inshallah. And I'm gonna read some more of the Quran with you. So go ahead and close out here. My name is Akhee Salam, and this is the Dawah Time Show. It's Dawah Time.
Islam teaches worship in its purest form. Its purest form. Its purest form. It's the way that all prophets taught and John. They all taught to worship only Allah.